Hello everyone, this is Marta Valera and this is my video for resources and ICT. This question is about 3 elements of holistic teaching competence for a digital world. The first element is being an expert in digital pedagogical content. What does it mean? A good teacher is one who knows his discipline in depth and also pedagogy, how to teach that. Also, within that knowledge, pedagogical strategies. To be a competent teacher, you have to know how to use technology to teach a student. The main core is that a teacher must be an expert in pedagogical knowledge and digital content knowledge. Why this element is essential? Technology is an existing reality in all classrooms. A teacher must master it and be an expert in digital pedagogical content to stay up to date. 2 actions. The first action is for the Spanish language and literature subject. I will use the stop motion tool for children to do a storytelling and thus work on the oral expression competence through digital technology. For the natural science subject, we will work on the water cycle through augmented reality. Thus, a student will learn the content through digital technology. The 2 elements that I will include in my PLE are: the first, I will integrate the stop motion tool into a broader project to improve linguistic competence in which other teachers will participate. 2. Cooperative work. I will teach augmented reality to other teachers to improve the learning community at the center. Now, I'm going to talk about the second element, being able to use ICT to expand the relationship with the families and students. What does it mean? Teaching staff in their closest role to the student as a social being, an agent committed to the student who helps to coordinate efforts of the student determining environment, family, friends, school, neighborhood, to improve the student's condition, to offer him/her positive experience in human and social relations. Why this element is essential? This competence implies the relationship with the entire environment of the student, with families, goes beyond the teacher-student relationship. It is important to use tools of the technologies to create a network of relationship with families and the community. 2 actions. The first action is use a method of mass communication with family, such as Top-Up. The second action is create a specific classroom chat with the parents of the students for a better communication, thus creating an ecological environment between a classroom, the parents, and the teacher. 2 elements that I will include in my PLE. The first is stay up to date with the application email to communicate with all parents that are coming out. Communicate with the other teacher at the center, even from other center, to see what kind of communication they establish with family and exchange ideas or tools. Now, I'm going to talk about the third element, expert in a nice organizational or personal learning context. What does it mean? The teacher PLE, as the realization of all elements of his or her learning ecology, includes not only the resources, information sources, connection, and activity that a teacher uses regularly to learn, but also the attitudes and conditioning that organize our learning action. Why this element is essential? Schools generally have a hard time making change. This element is essential because it is necessary that the teachers want to change the dynamic of the center, elements of the life of the center, and these changes are made through technology, promoting them, encouraging their use, teaching with ICT, etc. 2 actions. The first action is that as a teacher that I like technology and I'm aware of it, I will create a training course for other teachers on technology and ICT in the classroom and how to apply them to the PLE. The second action that I will do is create a working group to improve the digital education of the center. The 2 elements that I will include in my PLE are: the first, take care of a blog from the center, subject activities to facilitate access to digital content to the entire educational community. And the second, self-training plan, a series of steps to improve my training on a new technology and how to apply them in the classroom.
TPAC, Technological Pedagogical Content Knowledge, is a theory that was developed to clarify the set of data that teachers have to be compelled to teach their students a subject matter. Teach effectively and use technology. TPAC is the combination of three components of teacher knowledge: content knowledge, pedagogical knowledge, and technological knowledge. TPAC is the basis of effective teaching with technology through interrelated knowledge. Punja Misra and Matthew J. Kohler TPAC framework, which focuses on the three components, offers a productive approach to many of the dilemmas that teachers face in implementing educational technology in their classroom. By differentiating among these three types of knowledge, the TPAC framework outlines how content and pedagogy must form the foundation for any effective enriched integration.
CK, what are your teaching and what is your own knowledge of the subject? For this lesson, you'll need a solid understanding of the 20th century Spanish literature. PK, how are your students learn best and what instructional strategies do you need to meet their needs and the requirement for the lesson plan? In this case, you need to understand the 20th century Spanish literature and small group collaboration. TK, what digital tools are available to you? Which do you know well enough to use and which will be the most appropriate for the lesson on hand? For this lesson, students will need to label diagram and present so the ability to fill in blanks with the key answer, find images for the internet, create slides, etc.
PLE is the combination of tools, source of information, connection, and activity each person uses regularly to learn. It is the set of elements or resources that we use in our learning processes. My PLE is how I learn, and that includes all my resources that I use to do it. Not only the books I read or the web pages where I search, it is also the environment of the processes. The PLE is shaped by the processes, experience, and strategies that the learner must implement to learn, and in the current social and cultural condition, it is determined by the possibilities that technology open and potentiate. The teacher PLE, as the realization of all elements of his or her learning ecology, includes not only the resources, information sources, connection, and activities that the teacher uses regularly to learn, but also the attitudes and conditioning that organize our learning action.
My personal learning environment is divided in three sections: doing, sharing, and collecting. Collecting in my PLE is the section where I collect information, where I look for information in sources of information. This process can be online or in books and magazines. Doing refers to the resources that I use to create literally. For example, I use Word Office or PowerPoint Drive or a notebook, the place where I do the work. And the last section of my PLE is sharing, where I share my work, the sites where I am used to share my knowledge about something or the work that I have done are Padlet, Wattpad, Blogspot, etc. This is my PLE. Now I'm going to talk about augmented reality. Augmented reality can be defined as a technology which overlays virtual objects into the real world. This object then appears to coexist in the same space as objects in the real world. It is a mixture of real and virtual world real-time interaction and precise 3D recording of virtual and real objects that is perceived as you get submerged on the subject of the real environment. Augmented reality is an interactive experience of the real world environment where the objects that reside in the real world are enhanced by computer-generated perceptual information, sometimes across the multiple sensory modalities. Students will have to do a virtual reality activity in which the application they will use for this task will be Chromebite. Before starting the activity, I will explain them the difference between 2D and 3D, showing them a wooden model of a table and a draw of a table. When they have cleared this concept, we will pass to the activity. They will be given a template with drawing, which they can color to their liking and styles. Once they have finished coloring the templates, we will give them a tablet provided by the school, which they will use the application so that your designs come to life, and we will explain the step-by-step how to use the application. Now I'm going to talk about storytelling, technological part. Storytelling uses traditional narrative techniques to build stories that connect with the student. Storytelling enables students to understand complex issues more easily. Thus, through a story, students internalize the problem and empathy is fostered. Digital storytelling allows computer users to become creative storytellers through the traditional processes of selecting a topic, conducting some research, reading a script, and developing an interesting story. Storytelling aims to reflect on student exchange opinion, creativity, and inspiration, and search for solutions to problems. With storytelling, learn to listen to other perspectives and learn how to solve problems. Students will have to create a story for groups. They will have to create a story with complex character, and the story will have a message to learn from. They will have to choose between reproducing their story with a stop-motion app or with and tell story.
two different platforms where they can elaborate a story, telling and have fun. Before the activity starts, I will explain them in the digital board how to use both of them, the option they have. The purpose is that they learn to create an original story with digital resources. When they all have finished their story, they will show to the class and there will be a respectful feedback.
What is the mark that I think I deserve and why? I think I deserve an A because I have interest in this subject and I have delivered my work on time and I have tried to do my best. And what is the most important role I have performed? For me, is facilitator because you have the responsibility of the whole group and also you have to be like that takes the risk for all of them and you have to be like very involved more than the others. What is the most challenging role that I have performed? For me, it's curator, because I have never done a conceptual map before, not like this kind of conceptual map, and this has been my biggest difficulty. Regarding the theoretical content of this subject, I believe that I will keep working on TPAC and ACAD framework. And regarding the practical part, the experience of un día en el cole de mi maestro, I think that will be very present on my way of working and my environment. But the thing that has marked me the most, I think that is teamwork, like working with 8 different people and increasing communication and learn how to deal with other people and not working individually. But above all, learning to work as a team, I think that working in a group of 9 people has good and bad things, but it enriches you. And I'm sure teamwork will always be present in my PLE and in my way, my whole environment of learning.